My very special guest this morning and today on the Red Couch. You know, there's so many people that I want to interview, but this is one that is very special and very near and dear to my heart. And it's none other than John Roett. So I'm going to let him tell you, rather than me tell you in my words, who John Roett is. I'm going to ask John Roett to tell you who he is. How about that?
Wow.
Welcome to the Red Couch.
Good to be here, man.
See, I like to fire away early.
No, seriously. It's like, okay, well, put me on the spot. It's cool. I am crazy, innovative, loving, mad, everything up into one. And I'm a musician for years, as you would know, and I have now become an author. An author, Victor.
Author, yes.
Will always be home.
How long have you been in music? You'd say what? 40 years?
I started playing music 52 years ago.
Okay, all right. So not a little bit off. And the first band that you were in was
Footsteps.
Brothers. Footsteps was the first band,
A group
right?
called the Footsteps, which started in Belleville. And then I would have moved on to the Brothers.
That's when Belleville was residential, right?
Yeah, Belleville was residential.
Cool place to live.
It still kind of is, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But there are a lot of businesses.
A lot
there.
of commercial, yeah.
So I went from the Footsteps to the Brothers to Artwork to Merry Men to Hot Gossip to Maxi Priest.
What got you into music, or who or what got you in? Because your
my-
brother also plays.
He plays drums with Merry Men. My aunt in England, and that's the first page in the book. I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, sitting on her lap, and she played home on the range. And I was like, if she could get that, I could get that. I swear to God, at 5 years old, the music kind of like this bubbled around me, and I'm like, but is she that old? I mean, she wouldn't be more than like 20, whatever, 10, yeah? Is she that old and she could get that? I can do that.
Yeah.
And I just went into it from like at that age.
You also played with Spice and Company too, as well.
Spice, yeah, sorry, Spice was in there
Yeah.
as well, and then the Party Monarch band, Festival band. So it traces the entire history of Barbadian music for sure.
Some of this live entertainment now thing seems like stories you heard long ago, because live entertainment, you know, has kind of dried up and almost died. And for a musician, I can't picture a scenario where I couldn't do what I love doing on a daily basis, which is broadcasting. And so for many artists, not being able to perform live frequently and so on, what has that been like for some artists?
It's really, I think the entertainment industry suffered the most of this whole COVID issue,
Yeah.
Because we had done a show for Mosaic at Frank Cullinan Hall, and my girlfriend, now fiance, and I flew to Antigua, and it shut down 4 days later. And I had one gig, which would be New Year's Eve 2020. So I mean, for the other people who have not set themselves up, a lot of my income and my living came from writing jingles. So that being one of the probably foremost writers, fortunately. And I had that background, I could have that to fall back on, royalties based on setup. Or the people who've written songs and been living on royalties. But for the guys who exist on live performances only, it has been brutal, man. Brutal, really.
Do you have a preference between being behind the scenes, arranging and producing, versus live performance?
They're two different vibes, but the live rush is, and doesn't matter. To me, it is more difficult to play for 10 people than, say, a show I did with Bruce Hornsby at Foxborough for 75,000. It doesn't really matter, because you're just this one person that you don't know who's actually watching you up those 75,000.
Yeah.
But when you play for 10, all 10 people.
So let's bring it home now to the book, John. Backstage Pass. What stirred that emotion in you to put it all down?
I had actually, I had done a book of pictures on the island called Everything Bajan. I had a company called Everything Bajan that used to put the images and sell to tourism outlets like mouse pads, mugs and stuff. And in 2008, for some unknown reason, I started making notes on my life, and bands I played with, and things I remembered from my childhood. I had no idea why. What is very interesting is that for all the years I was on tour, all the many years that was, and it was a lot, 900, something, 1,000 miles, 600, something, hotel rooms. That I always kept a diary. I kept a diary.
Yeah, you have it all frequent for flying.
I never knew why I kept this diary of what I did every day that I was on tour. And I had pictures of everything. I used to take pictures wherever I went. And I started making these notes, and then it got put off, and then life changed, and my wife died from cancer. Then you go through different avenues, and you go the ups and downs. I've been to the point where I've had absolutely nothing. I mean nothing. I had to call my brother to borrow $100 after, like, the year after my wife died. Those things happen in life, right? So for whatever reason, I kept these notes, but it's only then recently, after I met Donna, that I started going back to these notes and revisiting. And then when we got stranded in Antigua, I really buckled down. So it's been a sketch for like 10 years. And then for the last 2 years, it's been virtually every day, 15 hours a day going through it. It's an interesting thing. Like I said, I'm very lucky that there is someone in my life that I can't say I've met. You know, Donna Marie and I grew up in Belleville, and I was in love with her when I was 10. I never told her anything.
Wow.
So it comes back around now where she came to a Mosaic concert, and then she called me and started flirting with me and things.
That's your version of it.
That's my view, and I'm sticking to it, right? But her view on life also. You know, when you have someone with you that has your back at all times too, that is a key element. You know, like how your partner treats you and you treat your partner. Those are integral things in life. Real love, I mean, like genuine love. There's nothing in the world like it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it leads you to realize that no matter how much you give, you always get it back. You can't run out of it. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So when does the book come out, John?
It should be landed here, knockwood, by the middle of November.
Yeah. John, thank you very much for being our guest on the Red Couch.
Great to be here, man.
We will have you back again, at some point in the future to discuss some other points. Yep.
Absolutely. Great to see you again.
John Roett, our guest today. Look out for his book coming out soon. It's autobiographical, and if you know the man, you will know that it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be informative, it's going to be riveting, it's going to be a great keepsake. I am going to make sure I get mine personally autographed on the Red Couch with John